So
Here we are.
here we are. What do you think?
Man, I tell you, it's kind of exciting. I mean, we're still trying to figure some things out, but this little sound room and you got the mics and this is legit.
Yeah, feel almost professional.
Almost. Yeah, next thing we need to do is you need to play us something.
Yeah, that'll happen.
No, hey, this is our first run. We're gonna start doing some recording, some podcast stuff. We're gonna do some here in studio, sound booth, and then we're gonna do some out remote.
I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah.
Out in the field.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, I think just with every intention of providing value to the listeners and understanding, what's going on in real estate, specifically in the Treasure Valley area, and just what it looks like to live here and the lifestyle and raising your kids or recreating. I mean, kind of name it.
Absolutely. There's so many really neat places in this valley, some really neat communities, whether you like to be more rural or just right in the heart of where the action is.
Yeah. I figured, if we started just giving a little bit of a backstory of ourselves so that the audience kind of understands what our perspective is going to be. I think one of the biggest questions that I hear is, what is the feeling, the general thought mode when somebody hears that people are moving into the area?
Right.
So, I figured I'm a transplant. I've been here for a while, since '94, but you're a native. So I figured we'd share a little bit about ourselves so that the next podcast, people kind of understand what our point of reference is. Absolutely,
because we're each going to have a little different, perspective on how we look at the valley, how we utilize all the things it has to offer. Mm-hmm. And of course, not only that, but we have kind of this really cool dynamic as Jerod and I have kind of started working together over the last year. We come at it with different flavors per se because of who we are, right? And our experiences and things we've done and passions we have. But so once you start off, man, just who are you? Mm-hmm. What's kind of where you from and what do you love and just get into it.
Yeah. I think to just kind of summarize my background is my dad was Navy, 23 years. So it was a lot of moving around. Mm-hmm. I have kind of like you said, the reference of living in a lot of different places. Dad was drafted, lived in California for just a very, short couple of years.
You bet.
Moved to Spain. My brother was born there. So a lot of moving, and it was just really kind of the four of us. My mom, my dad, my brother. My dad was out to sea quite a bit. So, every 3 years, moving truck would show up and we'd move to a different area. So
wow,
I'll pull from the different areas that I've lived, then from Spain to South Carolina to, Minnesota to Washington to Arizona. So, I've seen small cities, big cities,
mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love Idaho.
Yeah.
Bar none, this is the best place that I've lived, all things said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Quality of life, lifestyle, recreation. I've raised my kids here.
Nice.
They're all adulting now, so I'll be pulling from that. But really, kind of military brat, I guess, growing up. Went off to college in Arizona. Got my architectural design degree, which kind of ultimately brought me back to real estate. I did civil design after architectural school. I went to Oregon, actually. For that, was there for a couple of years, moved to Boise, got an opportunity to move here in '94. And I did some mechanical engineering design work, just, computer-aided drafting stuff here. And stepped out of the company I was working for and did some national, consulting, training, implementation, software stuff. And got tired of traveling. So my kids were, young, and I was probably gone 3 or 4 weeks a month. And I bought a house, and in that process, the idea came up about getting into real estate. Mm-hmm. So got my license in 2005 and kind of here I am.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So when you were living at these different places, what were the ages that you were like experiencing all these different places, around the world, the country?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really, infant in California for 3 years, 4 to 7-ish in Spain, South Carolina another 3 years, and then, oddly, Minnesota for 3 years.
Minnesota.
Yeah, land of 10,000 lakes. The state birds, mosquito type of thing. Lots of lakes. But I got to experience a lot of different climates. A lot of great recreation. The good and the bad of kind of all different areas. So I kind of pull from that. Now.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things with your experience. I mean, you can really have something to. You have a really good comparison of what other places have to offer, what life can be like in other locations, and places that have some neat things to offer. Mm-hmm. But that really helps you be able to define and say, hey, this place is amazing. And
it is.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying it. I've lived it.
Right.
And I would not raise my children here, have a family, and raise my children anywhere but here.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that contribute to the overall, greatness that I consider.
Yeah.
Here
So what are some of the things that you just love about this area? Like, what are some of the passions you have where you like to spend time?
Recreation's just been a key part of our lives. You can pretty much do anything, be up in the lakes, water skiing or wakeboarding. And then in the summer, you're up on the hill, skiing, boarding. If you want to fish, you can fish. If you want to raft, I mean, there's really nothing that I can think of that isn't here other than stuff you would do on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's great stuff too. It's almost world-class stuff, world-class kayaking, some world-class fishing, hunting.
Yeah.
So I would just say, kind of that great outdoors, active lifestyle is really the stuff.
So you love it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very active. I put gave my kids as many opportunities as I could to be active in sports, in athletics, in recreation. They gravitated towards different things.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So where are some of your favorite, what are some of your favorite, hangout spots? Let's say, morning routine. Where do you like to go grab some coffee, chill? Where's one of your lunch spots? And when you're wanting to go to some fine dining, where are some of your favorite places to grab some dinner?
Yeah, I've lived in Boise, Meridian, Eagle, and right now Eagle's my favorite. It's grown quite a bit, but it's still kind of got that somewhat small town feel.
Yeah.
So there's some, good restaurants there. They've even got a theater now. It's quick access to up north. So if you do want to recreate, it's got an amazing, sports complex.
Yeah, 55 is just right there.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So, quick access to downtown Boise, Meridian, but, a little smaller feel. Got some good restaurants coming in. We got Crave. We got Coins.
Great little park area. We visited that and walked around some of that. Really great playground stuff, some basketball hoops, some great barbecue, hangout picnic areas.
Yeah, Merrill Park, going there. The Greenbelt is amazing, right? Eagle's small enough you can get to the Greenbelt pretty quickly, and you're doing your biking, you're doing your walking, you're doing your fishing, you're doing your rafting, you're just kind of hanging out. Just kind of seems to have, at least everything that I would want.
Totally. Well, and one of my most favorite, if not the most favorite place in area of Eagle, and this would be the same for me and my boys, is the Eagle Bike Park.
Yep.
I mean,
amazing.
They have amazing. They've designed this as a skate park. There's hoops. There's a BMX jump park, and then there's a bunch of trails for one-way downhill stuff. I mean, they've got RC track. They got a BMX pump track. Mm-hmm. It is so cool.
Yep. Yeah, not just for the bikes either.
Right.
They got a skateboarding.
Yep.
You
can hike.
You got a basketball court.
Yep.
You got some, roller hockey?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. They had the roller hockey.
Right.
Yeah, and I couldn't say it, but I was visualizing the lines and exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty partial to Eagle these days, but
totally.
The whole Treasure Valley is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like each little area of the Treasure Valley is very kind of like-minded overall, but has its own specific personality in the different areas.
Well, and as you go more west, you get into more ag, right? You get into a lot of farm ground, right? We got hops, corn, potatoes, mint, all that stuff going on, beets. And then as you kind of roll, more back towards Boise, then you start getting into the more, the commercial areas, the beautiful developments, a lot of the amenities,
Yep.
and the things you're referring to.
Yep.
Of course, we have the Snake River that rolls right through the valley, and there's just a lot of great access to that.
That's our gem, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like to go.
Well, we've got so many reservoirs. We got the Boise, the Payette, the Weiser. There's just like a lot of waterways.
Yep.
If anybody doesn't know this, Idaho, I think has the most whitewater of any state in the country.
That's hidden gem for
Right?
sure there, yeah.
That's I think that's pretty accurate on. But yeah. So again, my name is DR Bledsoe. I grew up out west on the west end of the Treasure Valley, a little area called Arena Valley, kind of between Parma, Wilder, Homedale.
Yeah, you're one of the few natives.
Yeah.
You don't run across natives very often.
Yeah, right.
So.
I know. And
What was that life like?
it was great. I was raised country boy, and that's kind of what I still am at heart. We was raised, had animals. My dad was trained horses,
Okay.
so growing up, I was riding horseback, and I was horseback riding horses whether I wanted to be or not. That was just part of the job.
That's just what you
It's what we did.
Yeah.
Fed the cows, fed the horses, rode, exercised, trained, and then I started rodeoing, and rodeoing was a big part of my life, and that was that's a big part of this valley culture is the horse
All the
equine
rodeos
industry.
and-
Ton of rodeos. Almost every small town has a rodeo. Eagle has an amazing rodeo now. It's a PRCA. It's a pro level rodeo.
Oh, I didn't know it.
Yep. And that was kind of how I grew up. Dad had a small business in Caldwell.
Okay.
So we were, always in town per se with that. But just growing up on that end of the valley, I'd always run to Boise, and that was kind of a happening place back when the cruising was a thing.
Well, you had to go all the way into town, right? It was a journey.
Yeah. You jumped in the rig, and 35 minutes later,
Yeah.
you're going to be cruising downtown, seeing what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ended up kind of picking my colleges based on the rodeo programs.
Okay.
And so was able to get some scholarship stuff. Went to a JC just on the other side of the river there in Ontario, Oregon, and then finished up at LCSC up Lewiston area,
Okay.
Lewis Clark State College. But yeah, ended up back down in the valley for a while. Got married. Was living a great life. Had our first son, and then all of a sudden had an opportunity to be a mountain man.
Yeah.
Basically got a phone call and somebody said, "Hey, would you like to live in the mountains, build a business with this wonderful asset we have, this lodge and this guide permit?
Yeah.
Would you like to come kind of build a business?"
Kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, and one of my dreams is to be like Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
So that was literally an opportunity to be that.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. So for 10 years, I was able to not only just kind of wear all the hats of business, marketing, managing. We cooked, cleaned, we did it all the first 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get up, make breakfast.
Literally chief cook and bottle washer.
Yeah, get out with the guests. Wife would, have lunches ready, and then I'd take them back out, and then she'd have supper waiting for us in the oven kind of thing. And she was having babies, and, we had 3 sons total, and 2 of them were at the ranch. But it was an amazing experience. But what ended up happening was that some of my return clients that I ended up becoming really good friends with kind of fell in love with Idaho, and they wanted to know about properties and opportunities, and man, we'd like to buy something here, particularly like McCall or Council or Cascade, and it just kind of led me into this real estate journey where I was able to work with people that I was already clients of mine. And then we would, start looking at some real estate opportunities. And it really began my real estate journey in a neat way because I was getting to look at all kinds of amazing properties and then also learning a lot about, the construction, the type of homes that you build and how they're different. Because going through college, I worked in the construction industry. I kind of paid my way through school painting. So I was painting residential houses all the time.
Okay.
And then did some commercial stuff as well. But that's where I really got a feel for what does a good builder's product look like? What's it look like when I get in there?
Yeah.
What are the different subs you deal with? And what that whole residential new construction experience can be like.
Yeah. That's where I started my career in '05. That's and even to this day, the bulk of the inventory is new construction inventory. So that'll be one of the podcasts we'll have. Going down the road is when you're looking at moving into the valley or across town. What are the differences between looking at an existing home versus new construction? So we both had the experience in that new construction.
Well, it allows you to not only see a product right when it's first done, but you were able to see that those steps, right, and what it took to build it, and you understand what's behind that sheetrock, and you understand the kind of things that you want to be thinking about, looking for, and what makes a great product, versus just an okay one. But yeah, anyway, ended up, got married. We ended up having 3 boys. I got 2 of them. They're teenagers, and they think they're a little smarter than everybody else right now.
It's that age.
And then my youngest one's 11. He thinks he's really smart. He's the entertainer. He's the jokester. But no, it's great and a great place. But yeah, I'm excited to do this because I'm excited of the different things we're going to talk about and the different areas we're going to go. And just kind of bring to light, the biggest thing is I'm looking forward to is anybody that approaches us with questions, how we can kind of dig down and find those answers. Because really, in the end, that's what I feel like I do is my job when I'm working with someone is to gather information, get them the pieces to the puzzle to help them, make and answer those questions, achieve those goals. What are my needs? What are my wants? And how do I prioritize those and rank those? And, and what are the things I need to know to help figure out that, whether it's for family or what have you,
Yeah, that's one of the things I think. There's been a number of things that I think have helped us kind of click, but I think we're both very much like-minded that this is a big deal, right? For most people, this would be one of the biggest purchases they ever make, and our approach being similar, that we want to help you buy, and that means different things for different people. Some people need 1,000 questions answered, and some need 100. It just depends. So to put all the information out there, to really understand their goals, their objectives, their wants and their needs, and serve them in the process to get them the information they had, to be that trusted advisor, to be that good counsel, and why you would do one thing over another.
Well, and that's the honest truth. And I know you've experienced this, but we don't just provide information about a house and what street it's on, right? It's literally, we're not making decisions for people, but we're just saying, here's all the things we know, and here's all the facts.
Yeah, to make that good decision,
and
to do it in the right way.
And a lot of times they'll be asking you, well, what do you think, and stuff. And so there's times you kind of help them sort through that. We never make decisions for people. You help them kind of, well, these are the things I know are important to you based on what you said.
Right.
So, in the end, it's one of those, the old saying is, listen, when you go to bed at night, lay your head on the pillow, you want to feel good about it, and if you don't, take a step back. But I think that's the part is, and honestly, I have done so many things trying to help people sell houses. I've pressure washed houses, painted houses. I've swept, hauled garbage off, hauled furniture off.
Full service agent.
You
gotta do what needs to get.
You do what's going to help them achieve the goal.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what we're supposed to do. Particularly when they need help and they may not be able to do some of these things.
Right. Right. Yep. Yeah, I think it's identifying, okay, we got to get from point A to point B. Certainly there's things we're going to do just out of the gates as our role,
right,
as the real estate agent. And then there's going to be things, like you said, that need to get done that we just have to figure out who's going to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be you and I, sometimes it'll be the client, sometimes it'll be, third-party people that we bring in.
Hook them up with a great sub.
And just, get it done in a very efficient manner, as low stress, as possible.
Yep.
For the other thing I think we really connect on is, we're very focused. I'd like to think we're very focused on, repeat and referral business. Mm-hmm. And I believe you only get repeat and referral business if you far exceed the expectations of your client. Mm-hmm. If you have a mediocre interaction with somebody, you don't go telling everybody about it. You really have to, kind of wow them in order for that to happen. I found it interesting that you and I had that same approach, and I'd like to think that when clients, one of my best kind of metrics of customer or client satisfaction is getting that hug, at closing.
Right.
and just saying thank you for
Yep.
for walking us through the
Yep.
process.
Yep. That connection and the fact you made it real personable. You know, you weren't just going through the motions. You know, my approach on it, particularly like when you're going through the process and say negotiating things, is, you know, you want to make it a win, kind of on all sides. You want everybody to kind of feel like, man, that was great experience. Like, yeah, there were some things you had to work through and you had to do some, you know, give and take. But as you're representing someone, you want them to feel not only great about how it ended up, but you know, you want to make it's where it's enjoyable for everyone, because even if you're on one side of it and you do really well and somebody else is kind of like feel like they got burned or whatever, that's not a good experience, and it doesn't translate well later, right?
Right.
And so I think taking pride in the fact of, you know, trying to make good deals, but also, like you said, making it real personable. I always look at when I get a chance to work with someone, I was like, hey, this is a new friend, you know, that I get to have in life.
Right.
And most of the time, I'm still staying in touch and connecting.
Yeah, lifelong relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, is there, you know, as we're kind of doing this first little segment, just talking about kind of who we are, some of our philosophies, some of the things we feel are important, man, is there anything else you think would be great to touch on just you know, as we exit this one?
Yeah, you know, I think it's just important, especially in today's kind of sales-oriented world, that, you know, approaching us in regards to, you know, helping you, there's no pressure, there's no obligation. You know, as much as I'd like to think I can help everybody, you know, sometimes there might not be a good fit, but, you know, just a call or, you know, a conversation around, you know, what is it you're trying to do to see if there's that good fit there. You know, I want people to feel at ease to just ask, you know, the basic questions to understand if there is a good fit or not. So, you know, I just like for people to know that, you know, we're coming at it from a servant's heart. And
absolutely,
you know, kind of that end objective is that that long-term, you know, friendship, relationship, and you know, just helping them accomplish their goals and their objectives.
Absolutely, I think you said that perfect. I think that was a perfect segue to kind of wrap this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is I think this is gonna be fun. I'm
excited.
excited.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm excited. I'm hoping that as people tune in, they get a sense, you know, kind of who we are, what we're about, and our passion for the area. You know, you live in here your whole life, and I get excited hearing that, you know, that story and those details. And man, I just love Idaho. So when somebody starts talking to me about it, I'll get all, you know, kind of spun up. So it'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time.
Yep. Great. It's a great place to call home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't know, you know, reach out and just ask us, like, you know, what, you know, this is us, this is where we're at. You know, do you see Idaho, you know, being that home for us? They'll tell you, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's the one thing I will say. We're going to shoot you straight on what's going on. We're not going to try to, like, you know, highlight certain things, but kind of keep other things quiet. It's like, here's everything. Right. And we need to make sure this works for you, your dynamic, your goals, your family, your needs, your wants. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
We'll have fun.
Awesome. Hey, appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to this. And as Jerod would say, have a blessed day.
Blessed day.
And I would say, hey, wherever you're at, be in the moment.
That's right. Take care.